Yo fam, buckle up, cause today's drama didn't just shake Hollywood. It made the whole internet scream, Kevin, what the hell did you do? Boom! May 2025, Kevin Costner, yeah, the Dances with Wolves guy, was directing Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 2, a big ol' Western movie, galloping horses, sunsets, and allegedly a rape scene that wasn't in the script. Enter Devyn LaBella, a stunt woman, hired to double for actress Ella Hunt. One day, she's dodging fake bullets and riding horses. Your classic, just another Tuesday. The next, she's called in to shoot a graphic sexual assault scene with zero warning. Wait, what? And the intimacy coordinator probably stuck in traffic. Here's the kicker. Ella Hunt and the actual lead refused to shoot the scene and walked off set because it felt off. Devyn got the emergency call, thought it was a normal scene, then bam. You're playing a sexual assault victim now. Cameras rolling, go! What? This ain't improv class in hell. According to the lawsuit, Devyn wasn't told in advance, there was no proper script revision, no consent, basically a red flag combo that breaks all the SAG-AFTRA rules. And the production team's response? Chill, it's a Western. Yeah, a Western doesn't mean ignore filmmaking ethics, people. So now Uncle Kevin, America's denim-wearing dad figure, just stumbled into the weirdest directorial mess since Tarantino filmed himself, licking feet. Next up in part 2. Does Kevin Costner really think he can outplay the 2020s? Or is this just old school Hollywood trying to sneak in one last creative power trip before the curtain drops? Smash that like button, hug your lawyer tight, and let's continue. Okay gang, part 2 is like watching a Western, then suddenly the channel flips to lawless Hollywood. Scene opens. Kevin Costner yells, "Cut! Good job everyone!" after filming a scripted sexual assault scene. With consent, contracts, and intimacy coordinator, everything above board. That day, everyone even had a chill lunch break, but the next day, Kevin gets a creative idea. And y'all know when a director says, I've got an idea, the cameras roll while the ethics mic gets cut. Ella Hunt, the lead actress, upon learning that the new scene was a more intense rape version, not included in the script and never discussed beforehand, immediately left the set. A straight up, bye guys, I'm not playing this game. And who was called in to replace her? None other than Devyn LaBella, who thought she was just there to do a regular stunt double job. But when she arrived, she was hit with a secret script. No dialogue, no dramatic lighting, just pure confusion. Devyn says she was dropped into the scene and told, go hard like yesterday. Yesterday had a script, a plan, and morals. Today, just chaos cosplay. Sounds like a survival horror flick, yet it gets worse. She wasn't briefed, not asked for consent, and of course, there was no safety supervisor in sight. Missing people, missing ethics, missing everything professional. And what did Devyn do? She went along. Out of fear, pressure, and because in Hollywood saying no can mean bye forever. Costner may have wielded axes and galloped through cinematic epics, but here, he trampled over modern filmmaking norms like his character riding off a moral cliff in Horizon, an American lawsuit. Stay tuned for part 3 when Kevin's lawyer enters like an NPC stuck on repeat. She thanked us though. This is getting real, folks. Devyn LaBella, the woman who got pulled into an unscripted scene, has officially lawyered up. No more, I felt a bit uncomfortable. This is a full-on lawsuit, filed directly against Kevin Costner and the production team of Horizon 2. And guess what happened next? That's right, Costner's camp responded with, she sues people a lot. What? She says she was coerced into filming a violent scene without warning, and their comeback isn't denial, it's, oh, she sues a lot. That's deflection 101, like dropping your food and blaming the plate. And then more testimonies began to emerge. Specifically, Ella Hunt, the lead actress, had clearly stated that she refused to film that scene because it wasn't in her contract. So the production team went with plan B, call in a stunt double and just shoot it anyway. See that? A scene the lead wouldn't touch, and they called in the stand-in to do it instead? That's a move straight into the Hall of Shame. The issue isn't just that it was an intimate scene. The issue is it was filmed secretly, without notice, without consent, and outside the contract, and this was Kevin Costner's production, not some low-budget student film. As for Devyn, she didn't stay silent. She detailed everything in her lawsuit, being called in urgently, not given any information about the scene, and being forced to act out a violent rape sequence with zero preparation or anyone to advocate for her. And at this point, we're no longer talking about a small misunderstanding. This is about whether the entertainment industry has the guts to face its ethical black holes. This didn't end on set. This is where the courtroom steps in. And Kevin Costner now has to face more than just an awkward edit in post-production. Okay, so now this isn't just backstage stuff. It's officially entered the legal system. Devyn LaBella's lawsuit has been filed, the Los Angeles court is holding the paperwork, and Kevin Costner is still playing the "this must be a misunderstanding" card. But here's the kicker. Costner's team didn't say, "we'll review our production process," or even, "we regret this happened." Their first response? She sued other people before. Oh, really? So anyone who's ever demanded their legal rights is automatically trouble? That move is so old, it's got dust on its DVD cover. According to the complaint, LaBella accuses the production team of seriously violating SAG-AFTRA regulations, the union that protects actors and stunt performers in the US. Specifically, the scene wasn't in the contract, she wasn't informed, there was no intimacy coordinator, no mental health support, and no opportunity to say no. And if terms like contract breach and emotional safety sound too vague, let's put it simply. Costner's film is accused of shooting a rape scene with a "just go ahead and film it" mindset, as if the rules didn't exist. Another important note, this wasn't an indie film with a $3 budget and a director also holding the boom mic. This was a big budget production backed by studios, helmed by a Hollywood veteran. In other words, oops, we forgot protocol doesn't fly. In fact, some anonymous crew members have come forward saying that what happened that day didn't feel right at all, and many admitted they felt something was wrong but didn't dare speak up. The lawsuit also alleges that as the shooting unfolded, no one ever stopped to check for consent. The scene was approved from above, and as soon as it was done, the scene moved on. That is, it wasn't one individual who made a mistake, it was the entire system pretending not to see. At this point, many began to compare the incident to previous scandals in the industry, from Harvey Weinstein to behind-the-scenes privacy violations. The only difference is that this time, the main character is not a shady producer, but Kevin Costner, a golden icon of American cinema, a face that once represented Western justice now being targeted for not following the law. All eyes are now on the first hearing. Will the court consider this a serious labor rights violation, or will it be another chapter in Hollywood and 1001 Ways to Blame the Stuntman? Okay, when a drama is big enough to drag Kevin Costner and a movie waiting to be released to court, what do you expect? A storm of public opinion, harsh statements from industry insiders, or at least a few celebrities speaking up in support of Devyn? Sorry, you came to the wrong Hollywood. This is the place where when drama breaks out, studios choose to stay silent as if playing hide and seek with lawyers. As of the time the lawsuit was made public, none of the production companies named have spoken out, including Territory Pictures, Costner's company. Netflix, faced with a drama like this, would say, "We are investigating." But here, they are as silent as a live stream light running out of battery. Stupidists and stuntmen have begun to whisper. Many people have shared on social media that being abused, forced to film sensitive scenes without notice, is not uncommon. It's just that few dare to speak out for fear of being blacklisted. In an industry where fame and connections are the underground currency, suing a star like Kevin Costner is like posting a story about your boss during work hours. A few Twitter accounts of stuntmen began recounting their backstage mistreatment, such as being yelled at by directors when they asked to change scenes, or being removed from projects for seemingly not cooperating. That is, Devyn was not the first. She was just the first to dare to bring things to light with real names and real events. Ironically, at the same time, Horizon 2 was still being promoted heavily. The trailer was released the same week the lawsuit was filed. The poster flashed Kevin Costner's name as if nothing had happened. People promoted it as if this is a movie about America, about justice and courage. And the lawsuit as if it didn't exist. A writer for Variety bluntly concluded with a sentence that slapped the entire industry in the face. "You can't tell a story about Western justice if the backstage is a gray is not ethical." Boom. At this point, public opinion began to divide. Some people were still Team Costner, with the reason he probably didn't know anything. It was his assistant who did it. Some people were Team Devyn. That scene wasn't in the contract, but they still filmed it? What's there to argue about? And the majority? Team Popcorn, turning on TikTok every day to watch the TV series Real Lawsuits of Hollywood. At this point, the lawsuit was no longer a scandal. It was an official boom in the film industry. Devyn LaBella was not only suing Kevin Costner, but also taking aim at the entire production team. From Territory Pictures, New Line Cinema, to Warner Brothers, that is, the entire theater. The lawsuit describes the rape scene that day as violent, without prior notice, without an intimacy coordinator, and without consent. One sentence sums it up: secretly filming sensitive scenes and thinking everyone is okay with it because of art. The scariest thing, this is not just a personal mistake, but a system that operates as if there are no rules. The SAG-AFTRA rules are very clear. Actors must be fully informed, have the right to refuse, have a coordinator, and have time to prepare. And the Horizon 2 crew? It's like speedrunning the no-do section of the manual. Kevin's response? No such thing. Exactly 3 dots, no further explanation. And his lawyer said LaBella is constantly in litigation, a type of reaction that Hollywood often uses instead of apologizing, blaming the victim for having a history. And while Costner may be Hollywood's living gold, if what Devyn says is true, it's time to ask, what is the price of a shocking scene, and who pays it? The lawsuit is still being processed by the Los Angeles court, and Kevin Costner, a movie icon, now faces the risk of being canceled in a high-class way. Not because of a sex scandal, but because of managing the film crew like a sidewalk live stream. Meanwhile, Devyn LaBella is no longer an unknown name. She has become an icon of a cascadeur who dares to stand up and speak the truth. That is, someone who just made the entire Hollywood PR team run around like they lost their phones during a live stream. What about netizens? Turn this into a mini-campaign on TikTok. The hashtag number Justice for Devyn started to trend, and a series of other stuntmen shared their horrifying behind-the-scenes experiences. Even people not involved in this film jumped in to talk about the scene that no one told them in advance, but the director still called action. In a rather cinematic development, a human rights lawyer in LA announced that he would file a class action lawsuit for stuntmen who had their contracts violated in American films. SAG-AFTRA posted a notice saying they were monitoring the situation. You know, monitoring is Hollywood speak for, it's too loud, we can't ignore it anymore. Costner remained the man who played the hero. Cold, no further comment, only speaking through his lawyer. But some loyal fans were starting to waver, because this was no longer about one actor, but about a whole system of boycotting responsibility against vulnerable workers. In conclusion, this is not just a scandal about one person, but a map exposing the dark side of Hollywood's backstage. Where the case will go is still up for trial, but one thing is certain: the industry can't keep filming rape scenes like they're filming a soda commercial. If you think this is really crazy, give it a like, share it with your friends, and remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next drama. Peace out.